Uber loses landmark case over worker rights, entitling UK drivers to minimum wage and sick leave.
Here's a summary of the article.
The United Kingdom's courts have ruled against Uber in a groundbreaking fight over industrial protections given to the thousands of drivers who use its app, in a decision that could have ramifications worldwide. Uber appealed the decision, freezing its obligation to act until the case is brought to the Supreme Court. In a landmark decision, the Court of Appeal affirmed a 2016 ruling that classified Uber drivers as workers, entitling them to holiday pay, sick pay and a minimum wage. The case began 2 years ago when two Uber drivers, James Farrar and Yassine Aslam, scored a major victory at the Employment Tribunal when it ruled the men were workers under British industrial law, and therefore entitled to basic rights such as a minimum wage. While Uber classified him and thousands of others as independent contractor, in fact they had little or no control over the running of their business and were working huge hours just to break even. In November 2017 the Employment Appeal Tribunal found again in favor of the drivers and Uber took the matter to the Court of Appeal. Now the decision of the lower courts has again been affirmed, but Uber has been granted leave to appeal again, this time to the Supreme Court, the highest in the UK.
This post received a score of 23,273, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
This just in. Uber closes its doors in the UK but a new startup just hit the streets to fill its place. Say hello to Uber.
Yeah, there are laws against just shutting down your business, transferring all your assets, and restarting the same business under a new name in response to legal problems. Ironically, many of those laws were passed because of taxi companies doing that exact thing.
Really? You got a source on that? I could name one taxi company in the UK. I see a lot of people railing against big taxi companies, but they're like, aren't many at all. Edit, I was thinking of Addison Lee, a London company. But you can't hail them, have to book.
US has a famous example. It doesn't need to be a big taxi, just one big enough to want to dodge liability.
You ever notice how when you go to a lot of major cities, you'll have 20 different taxi companies driving around? That's because they only put a few cars in each corporation to limit liability. If I have Bell Taxi that has 60 cars operating in it, and one of them gets into a horrific accident, the injured parties can go after all of the assets of the company to get compensated, including the other 59 taxis and any money in the corporate accounts. Each one operates independently, has their own bank accounts, pay taxes separately, etc. Now, if one of those cars gets into a horrific accident and results in a huge liability, the worst that can happen is that the injured party can liquidate the two taxis and whatever limited funds are in the corporate accounts, and the owner of the 60 cabs still has 58 of them left to operate.
You are misinterpreting his statement. What you are proposing is a preemptive method of mitigating legal responsibility, which is totally legal. What he is describing is a reactive way of mitigating legal responsibility, where when your company of 60 cars gets in legal trouble, you sell all your cars to another company that you also happen to be the CEO of, making it where the person seeking legal restitution cannot get it because the original company no longer technically exists.
Yay, dude just went on a crusade against a point literally no one made.
I'm thinking he just misunderstood and was trying to clarify.
At first I thought it odd this was ding reported by the Australian ABC, but I checked the BBC News website and all attention is on drones over Gatwick.
Brexit, a man supposedly called a woman stupid, Jose Mourinho sacked, drone attacks on Gatwick. This is not a what you'd call a slow news day. This news will be lucky if it gets any coverage today in the UK.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by SMMRY.com, without any human intervention.